Hello there, Bionicle fans, and welcome to Bionicle Theory, the only Bionicle show which can possibly be done in 3 days. So yeah. Anyway, recently I was thinking about Bionicle as a whole, both Generation 1 and Generation 2, and I began to look more closely at the story of what people call the golden years of Bionicle, and I realized that Generation 2 had copied a lot from it, with some minor tweaks. Those tweaks really being the villains and the creatures that we got. But many people, when we look at Generation 2, we just see, oh, it's Generation 1 all over again. Except it ended even worse than Generation 1. It was awful. Generation 2 was awful. But Generation 1 had some faults. I mean, you had Toa Matanui. Yeah, that was a thing. But you also had some good things, including the Toei Naiko, which brought more articulation to the sets. And you also had those that kind of started out the Victorian. But as I was analyzing, I realized that Generation 1 of Bionicle could have ended within 3 years very easily. And it actually almost did end in 2003. But some of you may be asking the question, how? How is this possible? Well, let's look at the facts. When Bionicle first started, it wasn't really this giant mess of story. It was very connected, and we actually didn't get a story until later in 2001. Not until we got the comics, which actually is kind of similar to the comics of Generation 2. Huh. Interesting. But Generation 1 also had an online game that taught us all about the characters and what they did, which is kind of similar to the 2015 Bionicle app. Interesting. But what made G2 fail? Was it the fact that they focused too much on the good guys and not enough on the bad guys and making them cooler? Maybe. I actually think it's because they jumped the gun. They gave way too much to the second year instead of keeping it simpler like in Generation 1. Another important thing is the sets themselves. Yes, many of the older sets could have used some more work, but when they were first around, they came out and they looked different, cooler, and most of them were affordable, just $6 to $10. Except for some. Yeah, he's got a lot of problems. But most of the sets were smaller sets, keeping it nice and compact, but with a lot of functions with it. Generation 2 did try to do this with their protectors and creature sets, but it didn't quite work. Things got more expensive. Tahu Master of Fire became $20. No kid can really afford that, and no kid wants a set that looks terrible or weird in their mind. But I think what really set G1 apart was in 2003, when Bionicle, in its popularity, decided to come out with Mask of Light, the movie, which basically set up for Bionicle 2, 3, and even The Legend Reborn, which was an alright movie. Generation 2 did try to copy this with their TV show Journey to 1, which many of us saw, but it was only on Netflix. It wasn't available to everyone. And I think that actually truly hurt Bionicle. It destroyed them like a tonic to anything else. Bionicle had flash animations on their website. Bionicle had comics. They had games. Bionicle G2 did try to copy this as much as possible, but it didn't have the same people. Kids grow up. Kids change. And with that, Bionicle ended. But that's not the end, because even though Bionicle G2 failed, we can come back. We can create a new generation in which we have people who can make better sets, better comics, better movies, or even a better TV show, all on our own without having to ask LEGO. That's the great thing about Bionicle. And as always, thanks for watching. I would like to thank you guys so much for 15 subscribers. So what should I do next? Leave a comment below and I may pick your idea for Bionicle Theory. And subscribe for more. See you next time.